back to Daily Math with Miss Aguilar. Today we're working on week 19 for Wednesday. And see right there, let me zoom in. And get us to our first problem. So it looks like for today we're going to be practicing a lot of adding and subtracting with fractions. So we've had several months of this, and we should kind of be experts by now. But sometimes they start getting tricky because they don't give us numbers we usually work with. So I think that might be the case today. The first one says, find the sum of 6/7 and 2/3. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my problem. I know that you know that we don't have the common denominators already, okay? And as I've been teaching, just go ahead and set up your EFT right next door. So think about the 7 and the 3. What number do they have in common? 21, okay? Because 7 times 1 is 7. We already know that. 7 times 2 is 14. 3 can't go into 14, but it can go into 21. So you just have to skip count it all the way across. Now, some of you have been starting to see the pattern that you don't even necessarily have to skip count. All you have to do is multiply those two denominators. But those of you that are not familiar with seeing that pattern and you are more comfortable with doing your EFT, there is nothing wrong with doing that. Okay? That, to me, it's just kind of a way to double check your work, because you become very sure. So then we do our skip count on our numerator 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and circle the actual fractions that I'm working with. Okay, so I end up with 1821 plus 14/21. Those are kind of weird fractions to say. And don't forget, okay, go back to look what was the original operation. Find the sum so I know that's adding. So 18 plus 14. If you can't do it off the top of your head, there is nothing wrong with coming to the side and setting it up. Okay, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 3. So we have 32/21. So that is an improper fraction. I need to pull out the wholes. My wholes here are 21. Okay, so obviously I have some left over. I'm going to come over here again and do work out some of my math. 2 minus 1 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. So I end up with 11/21. Okay, I can't simplify it even more, so it's 1 over 11/21. And even this fraction, I can't simplify it because if I double up 11, that would be 22, not 21. And also another way, think about, can I do any factor trees? Is something going to match up? Well, 21 is 7 times 3. Nothing times 3 or 7 will get me 11. And then also remember, 11 is a prime. So this becomes your answer. Okay, let's move on to the next one. There we go. It says find the difference between, so difference, okay, that's subtracting. Find the difference between 5 and 2/3 and 3 and 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and set up over here. 2/3 minus 3 and 1/4. So every time we have a third and a fourth, automatically your minds go to 12. So we're just going to go ahead and take it. 3, 6, 9, 12. Fill in your numerator. 2, 4, 6, 8. Then we have 4, 8, 12. Fill in your numerator. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I like to circle the ones I'm going to actually work with. Okay, and go back to see what your operation is so you don't forget what you're doing with these fractions now that you found the equivalent denominator. 8 minus 3. So 8 minus 3 gives me 5/12. and then I look at the whole numbers. 5 minus 3 is 2. Okay, can I simplify that 5/12? Well, I don't have a whole to take out of 5/12. And if I do a factor tree for 12, that could be 6 times 2 or 3 times 4. And nothing times 3 will get me 5, nothing times 4 will get me 5, nothing times 6 will get me 5. And also, that's telling you that 5 is a prime number. I can only get to 5 with 1 times 5. So that becomes my answer. Okay, that's why it's important too to recognize your prime numbers. And it's kind of what I said at the beginning of the video, that even though we're becoming really good at our fractions, we need to make sure we know our primes too, and when we can and cannot simplify. Subtract 2/5 from the product of 3 and 5/10 and 4 and 2/10. This is a multi-step problem, right? Can you see that there? So it says subtract from the product of 3 and 5/10 and 4 and 2/10. I'm going to work with these decimals first. So we're setting up the problem, and we're going to multiply. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. I drop my egg. Okay, so I've already done this one. I've already worked with that one. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Now I get to add 0, 7, 4, 1. And how many spaces do I need to move over? 2. So it's 1470. Am I done? No, it says subtract 2/5 from this product. So it's kind of like if you were doing order of operations. We got to work on this product first before we go to the subtract. Now, I have a number with a decimal, and that's a fraction. But can I turn 2/5 easily into a fraction? You betcha. So think about how we do our EFTs. 5, 10, 2, 4. Can't we say 4/10 and know that we write it out this way in a decimal? We sure do. So now we just come back to this answer. 14 and 70 hundredths minus the 40 hundredths. And then just subtract away. 7 minus 4 is 3. Don't forget your decimal. 1430. That is your answer. All right, let's go to this word problem. Catherine drank 2/3 of a liter of water after her workout. She drank another 2/5 of a liter during lunch and 3/10 of a liter during dinner. How much, there's my keyword for my main idea, how much more water did she drink during lunch and dinner than after her workout? So this is always like, than tells me it's a versus, it's a competition. And because there's a lot of information for us to break down, I'm just going to go ahead and do my 3-step. Okay, and my main idea, I'm just going to draw an arrow, right? Because we already identified it there. And my data, so I have after workout, right? It said 2/3. It said lunch was 2/5 and dinner was 3/10. So first was the lunch plus dinner versus the workout. So I need to do that multi-step first of adding up the lunch and dinner. So I'll go ahead and set it up. 2/5 plus 3/10. I'm already seeing that I can turn that 5 into a 10 and then add it up quickly. Okay. So then I have the 4/10 plus the 3/10. Let's go this way, y'all see that? So the 4/10 plus the 3/10. So that gives me 7/10. Alright, so this is just the lunch and dinner. Lunch plus dinner. Okay. Now we have to see the verses. So 7/10 verses, like a competition. After the workout was 2/3. Uh-oh, I don't have the same denominator, so I got to work on that. So 7/10 minus the 2/3. Okay, now we can carry this EFT all the way. The numbers that 10 and 3 have in common, if you think about it, 3 times 5, 15. Okay, 3 times 7 is 21. It never gets right to something that's divisible by 10 until you get to 30. But instead of having to carry out your EFT so far out on the 3, what would take it to 30? Okay, if we just do this, what would take it to 30 times 10? So what you do at the bottom, you do at the top. And if some of you are asking your parents how to do this, I bet you they're going to say, that's how I learned. So 2 times 10 is 20, right? Now here, we go to 30. What do we do to make this 10 go to 30? Times 3. 7 times 3 is the 21. So what am I working with? 21/30ths and 20/30ths. So I was comparing, I was subtracting. So 21 minus 20 is 1/30th. Can I simplify that? No, 1 is a prime. Okay, so this would be my answer right there. Let's go to what went wrong Wednesday. See, where am I going? It's a really big problem, so I'm going to zoom out. Okay. It says the grocery store received a 20-pound box of crackers. If the crackers were packages that weigh 1/2 pound each, so this is what they started with. Okay, each one was 1/2 of a pound. How many packages, main idea, of crackers were in the box? So let's look at what they did. Find number of packages in a box. Okay, they did a strip diagram. Looks lovely. And so they said that they divided half by 20, and I see where they started with half. But breaking news alert! What do we label over here for their what they started with? They started with a 20-pound box of crackers, and they split that into 1/2 pound packages inside. So this person tried to split the packages 20 ways, and that's not what it works. So that's what went wrong. You needed to start with 20. Divide them by the 1/2 pound packages, and then rewrite, then flip your divisor, multiply across, and see that you had 40 packages in each one of those boxes of crackers. All right, so that concludes Wednesday night's homework for week 19. See you next time.